my lovely friend, it's Hannah here, and I'm here to give you some encouragement, like a little pep talk, about taking care of yourself and share a little bit about my journey and my recent successes with it so that you can, again, feel encouraged to stick with it or make the changes that you're wanting to make in that area. So you will know by now that taking care of yourself is one of the most essential things for a highly sensitive person, right? And when I say taking care of yourself, I really do mean doing some activities that promote relaxation and sort of an unwinding of the overstimulation that we tend to get. And I know that many of you and many of my clients struggle with creating consistency in self-care, and I certainly did I did as well for many years. And recently, it's gotten to the point where I'm quite devoted and routine with my self-care, and it's taken me quite a few years to get to that point. It started out, I was recognized how essential it was for me, but could only manage to fit it in a couple times a week. Like some of my most beloved ways of deep relaxing was one of my main things that I knew I needed. And I was sort of sporadic with it at best in the last few years, having a 1, 2, and 3-year-old. But recently I've started succeeding. For the past 3 months, I've been meditating twice a day, short meditations. And I've also added recently yoga to my morning routine. So I'm all of a sudden like a self-care goddess and it's really making a big difference in how I show up, how I feel. I feel so much lighter, so much more energized, and just more centered, I guess would be the way to put it. Clear-headed. I was really struggling with feeling foggy-brained, and that really motivated me. And so that sort of brings me back to you, is sometimes it takes some desperation. For some of us, we resort to we only make changes when we're desperate, right? And if that's you, then I encourage you to make those changes. But if you're not yet feeling desperate, like if things aren't that bad for you right now, my tip for you is to get clear about the value of taking care of yourself. Like, how does it affect you when you are really taking care of yourself? Like when you do that relaxation, or you do that meditation, or you take a bubble bath, like whatever it is that refills your tank. And really sit with it, really consider and watch the effects of taking care of yourself in your life. Like, how do you show up differently with your family? How do you feel about yourself? How do you do at your work when you are going through a phase when you're better with self-care? When we get really clear about the value of it in our lives, it's easier to then commit to something, to commit to integrating those things into our day. And it's almost like it starts to become a positive snowball effect, right? The more we feel good, the easier it is to do these more challenging, to create new habits, which are challenging, right? We have more energy and more self-discipline to go ahead and create those new routines. So I know that if I did it, you definitely can. And if you're having lots of trouble doing that, that's certainly, and you know how valuable it is to yourself, right? That's certainly something that I'm here to support you with. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. If you know you need real support to implement this, it's part of what I do when I work with clients. We always look at self-care and really get going on that, because it is so essential to your well-being and how good you feel in your life and in your relationships. So what is your favorite self-care? Let me know. I'd love to know about that. And also feel free to reach out to me with questions. All right. Cheers.